Hello, and welcome to Team 1's group video on the evolution of cell phones. Cell phones only date back to 1973. Telephones, on the other hand, date back to 1844 with just a simple idea of what could be. While traditional telephones use wires to transmit calls, cell phones are wireless and use radio waves to transmit calls.
Alexander Graham Bell and his assistant Thomas Watson patented the first phone ever on March 6, 1876. He called it the harmonic telegraph because it combined aspects of a telegraph and record player to allow speaking from a distance. It weighed 5 pounds 12 ounces, and him and his assistant made the first call by saying, "Come here." Sound waves cause an electric current to vary in intensity and frequency, causing a thin, soft iron plate called the diaphragm to vibrate. These vibrations were transferred magnetically to another wire connected to the diaphragm. When the diaphragm vibrated, the original sound would be replicated in the ear of the receiving instrument.
The first true cell phone was the Motorola Dynatac. This phone was only a prototype when its first call was made. It was priced at $3,995 in 1984, which is equivalent to $9,209 in 2016. While it didn't charge fast at all or have much usability time, it was a step in the right direction. The first cell phone call was made by a Motorola employee, Martin Cooper, as he stood in Midtown Manhattan and placed a call to the headquarters of Bell Labs in New Jersey using the Motorola Dynatac. The Motorola Dynatac was a revolution, but at just 5 years old in 1989 when the Motorola Microtac came along, everything changed. Just 7 short years after that, in 1996, the Motorola StarTAC replaced these devices with reproduced into many different models.
MTS, or Mobile Telephone Service, was introduced in 1946, requiring calls to be manually connected by operators. In addition, it only allowed 3 connections for mobile telephones in one city at one time, and at its peak had around 3,000 subscriptions across the United States. The improved Mobile Telephone Service replaced MTS in 1964, introducing customer dialing to replace operators, and allowed for many more simultaneous connections. The first modern system was the analog cellular system, now known as 1G. It was introduced in 1979 and used analog systems to transfer calls. It had many problems. The next service introduced was 2G in 1991, which transferred calls using digital technology instead of analog, greatly increasing speeds and reliability. 3G was introduced in 1998, yet again increasing speed, reliability, and coverage. 4G LTE represents a large change in the technology, using voice over IP protocols to transmit calls over the internet rather than through a dedicated system. 5G is a system still in development that will provide even higher speeds as well as reliable connections in buildings and to an extent underground. Satellite phones are a separate technology.
Personal Digital Assistant, or PDA for short, is the world's first version of a handheld PC. A company known as Scion created the organizer that often was thought it represented a calculator. Apple released their first PDA in 1993. More and more true PDAs come along to invade the market.
Everyone has a smartphone. Whether you have Samsung, LG, or Apple, smartphones can do almost anything. While they are only as old as you or I, they became widespread in the late 2000s when the market boomed. Phones such as Samsung and LG operate on an Android operating system, the opposite of Apple's iOS operating system.
Cell phones today are extremely powerful, and they are actually more powerful than NASA's computers in the 1960s. Who knows where cell phones will go from here? Cell phone prices are on the rise, including the price of the plan to use them. Apple's new iPhone X currently sits at $999.
Created using Powtoon.